and they got a certificate for that. When they learned that a teacher has to collaborate, a teacher has to think about his or her welfare, or we think about the welfare of teachers. When we have to learn that the teachers will have to have critical thinking, analytical thinking, and the teacher must have to have communication skills. They learned that. And the collaboration actually started forming the WhatsApp group, having mentors in the WhatsApp group, sharing knowledge, sharing their notes of lesson, doing the teaching on air, which was a COVID-19 emergency education intervention, doing all these things. And our teachers began to realize that they are really, really, really global teachers. We went on to do the laying the bed for post-COVID-19 education. You know, what are the issues? What are the things that we need to learn about post-COVID education? What we are planning to do is a follow-up of that conversation we had in 2020, 2021. The conversation, how do we lay the bed for post-COVID-19 education? What came out very clearly is that technology is utmost, very, very utmost. And today we are calling you because we are doing what you call ANSTIT. ANSTIT is Anambra State Education Digitalization Summit 2022. What do we want to achieve? This is going to be both online and both on site. Some people will join us, you know, through the internet. Other people will be here. What do we hope to achieve? We have a very clear objective about what we want to achieve. What we are saying is that we want to bridge the digital divide in Anambra State. One thing that came out quite clearly when over the years is that there is a huge digital divide between the people in the town and the people in the places we call hard to reach area, the places we call beyond the end of the road. What do you do to that person in Anak? What do you do to that person in Orometiti? What do you do to that person in Ibokeni? And all those around areas that do not have, that have multi-sectoral problems, whether it's about internet accessibility, whether it is about road, whether it's about health challenges, whether it's about anything you can think of, but their challenges are actually multi-sectoral. What do you do to them to give them access? Remember, His Excellency Chief Dr. Oluyobiano said that the learning needs of all must be met through equitable distribution of resources and learning of lifelong skills, and ensure that we're one of the 3 top states with the lowest illiteracy rate. How do we achieve that? I would say that no child is to be left behind. How do we achieve that? We talk about digitalization, we talk about technology, and we cannot, they do not even have access to internet. They do not even have, we started a policy we called one teacher, one laptop policy, as far back as in 2015, when we mandated every teacher to have access to laptop, because that is the way to go. We have complied significantly, but we find out that many of us in those areas are still left behind because of access to internet, access to technology. Of course, there is a gender aspect of it, you know, the gender aspect of it. In many of these communities, the women are usually the hands in the farms and all over. And if anybody has, if there is a choice between giving something to a man or to a woman, it should definitely be given to a man. So there is also the gender aspect of it. There is also the poverty aspect. They cannot even afford it. They cannot afford it. We are talking about platforms. We are talking about phones, you know, Android phones. We are talking about all manner of things. But these people cannot even feel how then can they afford to do those things. What do we do in that case? What do we do in that case? So this is actually about how do we bridge that digital divide in in Anambra State. We want suggestions. We want people to help. We want private-public partnership. We want individuals to come up and say, I can donate palm tops to the people in my community. We want the people who are going to partner with us, who Chima will tell you about them, the technology people that, the ICT people that we are bringing in, the organizations, the companies that we are coming in. We want them to be able to say, we can help. We want to help. This is the kind of broadband we have to bring. So the question, what this summit is all about, how do we do it digitally? And that's what we are here to share with you, what we are doing, the plans that we have, and to also ask you for, that's what we call empowerment reporting. Empowerment reporting is identifying some marginalized group and giving them consistent coverage. So there are so many people out there who are marginalized. How do we bring them to limelight? That is one of the duties we have as journalists. So I welcome you again, and I hope we are going to have a beautiful interaction. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with the Honorable Commissioner of Basic Education, no other person than Professor Kate Omenora. I also happy to be with our Purple Founder, Dr. Wandu Biano, and the chairman of Anambra State Basic Education Board, Dr. Mrs. Franca Obi. We are still expecting the chairman of PPSSC. My name is Mrs. Chinwe Weke. I'm the CEO of IDK Learning Center, that's Integral Development Consult, and also the chairman of the Asset Planning Committee 2022. Fortunately, our colleague Abuchi Keke, the CEO of Innovative, the partner in this program, has been held up in Abuja. The flight was delayed. So it's exciting for me that we are going to start the Asset Anambra State Education Digitalization Summit 2022 on the 24th of February 2022. It's going to be a the event. Day one will have selected ICT companies and experienced educators to help us achieve the goal which the Honorable Commissioner already expounded, to bridge the digital gap, lay the foundation for blended learning in Anambra State schools. Introducing ICT into pedagogy, basic education pedagogy, how they can use technology to effectively teach and students learn. And the two events, the one will be that panel discussions. And that particular day, 24th, which will start about 10 a.m., of course, we have our able governor, Chief William Biano, Awka, who has always felt that our Anambra State should be given education that is globally competitive. So he's the chief host. He will be here with us. And we have also special guests of honor. Of course, we can't do this without the incoming governor-elect Professor Charles Soludo, then the Federal Minister of State for Basic Education, and all the related federal government education parastatals like Teacher Resource Council of Nigeria. We are inviting them. At least they will give us the opening remarks, share their feelings, encourage us. Then we will have a panel of experienced educators. That will be the first opening we are having. They will tell us about transforming digital transformation of teaching and learning in Anambra schools. What are the challenges and the way forward? By the grace of God, Honorable Commissioner will be that, and of course, other experienced hands in the field that will discuss that. Then we have panel of ICT companies, grouped into our 4 sub-themes. We have 4 sub-themes. The first sub-theme is on access and affordable devices. And when we talk about devices, we're talking about how our students can have access to affordable laptops, and tablets. And we have companies like Dell, HP, Xenos, and Coscaris. It's in this process that we found out that Coscaris has a branch called Coscaris Technology, competing with Xenos. So they are coming on board on this program to help us look at sub-theme 1 on devices, digital devices. Then we have the second sub-theme on broadband. When we talk about broadband, we're talking about internet connectivity. How can we have access to cheap, affordable internet connectivity in all our schools so that we'll be able to bridge that digital divide Honorable Commissioner talked about. So there we have Global they are coming, which is there to confirm that. Then cyberspace and PPX. We know that MTN is there. We want to see if they participated in the last program. We want to see those who can really give us affordable broadband, internet connectivity in all our schools. Then the third one is on e-content and e-delivery. Use of applications, use of elements, that's learning management systems. We have companies coming. Unfortunately, I'm happy he's going to be here. Mr. Isunov, who's one of the products of Anambra State, who really took the hit. You will hear him when he comes. He will participate in that program because he has been taken over by an international organization. So he's coming. Then we also have a UK-based company who will call in from UK to give us applications, the use of applications in teaching and learning. We've invited Google Education Department to come also. And then the fourth sub-theme is on energy, especially alternative energy. We all know the challenges we have with EEDC. So we are inviting solar company energies coming from Lagos, and then we have waste to energy company, Zion Energy. There's another, we will likely have 3 solar energy companies, but Anambra is so big. And then we have, and one of our own will likely also be there. We also have, I've talked about waste to energy. Zion Energy is an international company from Germany coming into Anambra State with owners from Anambra State. And then we have, of course, EDC, who still maybe with Anambra State, they can do something better. So these are the 4 areas and the companies we're inviting to lead discussions on this. We are hoping that at the end of the conference, the answer 2022, we'll have a blueprint that will guide Anambra State government, you know, to transform, you know, have digital transformation of teaching and learning in Anambra State. Without these areas we talked about, there's nothing anybody will be able to do. So this conference is just a follow-up on what we did last year. And then day two, which I talked about it, day two, we're gonna launch one student, one laptop or device projects, campaign launch. We are going to launch the campaign, you know, which means after that campaign launch, we would have had the structure, the modalities, how best to do it to benefit students and schools in Anambra State. You know, in those days, those of you who went to school in our time, you have slates. It's compulsory when you are going to school, you carry slates. But now, the new normal, the e-learning, even without COVID-19, I know that the Ministry of Basic Education already started thinking about e-learning. It's just that we are going to work with them on that. You know, they're working with them on that. But post-COVID-19 kind of fast-tracked the whole thing. So it's something that is already, you know, slated. So now, because of the benefits of e-learning, whether COVID-19 or no COVID-19, it has become, you know, kind of mandatory for students to learn with laptop. The phone is okay if they all have that Android phone, but it's not every exercise they will be able to do with that. But so we are projecting laptop or tablets, which will be, the campaign will be launched on YouTube. We are going to bring in well-meaning Anambra that will drive it. And at the end of that launch, we'll come with a structure, how it will be done before the morning drive follow. And then the structure will have laid down effectively. And then this is basically what we'll do within the 2 days. And I want to join. And again, well, we'll leave that to Asibel and PSS to talk about the participation, how they will want, because all the teachers in Anambra State, they will tell us how they want to do that. And so I join my voice to that of the Honorable Commissioner of Basic Education to please help us to tell the world about this conference. Last time we had about, when we did the new normal, the first conference in 2020, we had about 6,000 or more, almost 10,000 participants that, you know, online. That one was an online. This one is also online. If I'm going to have people here, some teachers, because some of our invited participants will be on ground. So we want some of our teachers to also be on ground. The majority will be online. Majority, both students, teachers. And this combines both private and public schools. They're all part of the planning for this conference. So please help us to tell the world so that they connect to Anambra State, the light of the nation. Thank you.
So the Honorable Commissioner for Basic Education, Professor Omenoga, the Permanent Secretary, the Chairman as well, the CEO, IDK. By this point, invite the chairman as well to really talk about teacher participation in the summit. Chairman.
Good afternoon, my able Commissioner for Basic Education, the all-round, the woman they couldn't arrest, and the chairman of this summit, the woman, I call her the woman with the golden hat, my able Permanent Secretary for Basic Education. I still remain the Executive Chairman Asube. Good afternoon, everyone. I would still want to thank the Honorable Commissioner for Basic Education and Lady Weke for this giant step. It's not easy at all. In fact, we need our students, our teachers to be digitalized. It's very, very necessary. It's not even an option. It's necessity. Our students, they are in the digital world. They're already in the digital world, dominated with all the devices and appliances. Therefore, we do not need to cut them away from them. Then our teachers, they have to participate. You should never give what you do not have. First of all, our teachers are supposed to be digitalized because most of them are still analog. In the olden days, that's still there. When we started this WhatsApp teaching, during COVID-19 lockdown, which I started as the first principal that started it in Anambra State, while I was in Awka Secondary School as a principal. Most of them, they do not have Android phone. The first problem is to get them to get Android phones. It was a difficult task. But later we joined. Later we joined the new normal. And it helped us a lot. I've already started appealing to them. I've already started moving from one local government to the other. Appealing to teachers, sensitizing the need for them to join this summit. It is very, very necessary for our teachers. Tomorrow again, I will visit Onitsha North, local government. I normally go to the local government, and the ES, Education Secretary of that local government, will invite all the head teachers. The head teachers, while there, we sensitize them. The need for them to communicate with their teachers. And we will join. We are promising that we will join. All the teachers in the
Anambra State government to digitize the education process are those hinterlands. So I think that reason is addressed. Secondly, we spoke about launching the one student, one laptop campaign. But I would like to know the persons who this campaign will be launched for. Are they only students under the basic education radar? Pupils under the basic education radar? Or is it for only secondary school students. That's one. Then secondly, or thirdly, is there any arrangement to see how they can subsidize the cost of these ICT equipment? Because believe me, one challenge you will face in this drive is poverty. An average student, in Anambra State, the parents are not too rich, otherwise they would have afforded the private library. So, is there any plan, in that light? Thank you very much.
I have a question. I have a question.
I want to know, some students or some schools don't allow students to bring in phones in schools, probably for some certain reasons. Then how do you think you can check the kids into going into certain areas wouldn't work them? Because I know that the schools are prohibit students from bringing in phones to school, have their reasons. And then, if it's your arrangement, where do private schools come in? Thank you.
Well, let me say it depends on how big you want to make it. What we hope to achieve with this summit is to kickstart that thinking processes. There is already a governor-elect, a GA in place. I'm sure Dr. Charles has passion for technology driven education system. Because we already have things planned, we just couldn't end our administration without kickstarting that thought processes that will definitely, ignite the people that quest for either partnership, collaboration, or zeal to contribute to the digitalization of education system in our state. That we don't have all the answers here, and we cannot have the answers. I mean, it's a process that will not go. And depending on how the next administration takes it up, they should be able to organize something. I'm sure already they are talking about the education trust fund, or already they are talking about the infrastructural trust fund. They are talking about a whole lot of things going on now. So depending on how large they want to make it, it will include private schools, definitely, if that is where they want to go. It can include university people, if that is where they want to go. So this is just our thought processes, and this is just our kickstarting the thinking processes for people to understand that there is need to digitize education system in Anambra State. That is one. And that leads us to all of us are involved because we are talking about public-private partnerships. The greatest Anambra State people have is human capital. That's what they have. We also have a plethora of philanthropists. It's a question of harnessing them and thinking them through and making them understand that there is need for technology in education. So that is what. Your question was about. No, that's what I already answered that. That it depends on how, because it depends on how the next administration will take this on. It could be for everybody, depending on what they want. And like she said, poverty is something, and whether you or somebody said, the poverty is something that we are going to face, because that's one of the reasons why we have the digital divide. And we are hopeful that when we say we need help for improved broadband, for connection to the hinterland, for access to Android phones and things like that, that might, people who know and people who are able to help can actually come to Anambra State and know that Anambra State is ready for them. And I remember you are talking about, I remember a cartoon I saw somewhere, a child holding a phone and looking at the phone perplexedly. He said, they told us not to come to school with phone, but suddenly they have put education inside the phone. You know, I saw that and I laughed. But I know that there is a way these things are configured, that they are definitely for only education purposes. Those who know that will be able to do that so that the children wouldn't go to sites that are unacceptable. I'm very sure of that. Thank you. There are children, aren't there? So, I said it. Depending on how big you want to make it, they are involved too.
My name is Chris from Nigeria. So my question is, what plans are underway to probably subsidize the production of these laptops? Because I know that in today's Nigeria, the economic situation is very tough. So maybe for a teacher to use his or her hard-earned money to go into this acquisition, leaving other things probably that will be solved in the family. Are there plans to subsidize this or help them to acquire it in such a way that it will not, affect their resources? And then again, I want to know, the Honorable Commissioner talked about the hard-to-reach areas. And she also talked about an issue of getting maybe the networks to extend broadband to such areas. We know that most of the schools or most of the pupils, we have more rural areas in Anambra State. Even the ones in the cities, people find it even difficult to get access to these networks. These things may not work if we don't get such critical access to enable people key into this. So what efforts are being made? Because when you have when the teacher has this laptop without getting real network, this thing may not be a success. So I want to know what other plans are underway to cover this area and ensure that they have such access.
Unless I didn't make myself clear when I was speaking, this is one such effort. ANSYT is one such effort. We have said we are kickstarting thought processes. We have said we are asking for awareness, creating awareness, telling the public, everybody, that Anambra is ready for investment in these areas. It's not education people that will do that. It's the IT people, the technology people, not the education people necessarily that will do that. So what we are saying, so one of such efforts we are doing is this summit that we are bringing in a conglomeration of people in education, people in ICT, people who are providers, people who are a whole lot of things. This is one such effort. So we are hoping that, number one of the things you are going to make clear when you write is Anambra State is ready and they're calling for partnerships to come and invest in technology in Anambra State. That is what short way, one message we are sending out. Another message you should be sending out is that there is openness or possibilities of partnerships. People should know that the children, like we say in Igbo, the child belongs to all. Therefore, people should partner to bring our Anambra State. If you read the manifesto of the governor-elect, he talks about education that is exportable. That's it. And what? And productive. Exportable and productive. For him to achieve that exportable education, we have to give our people education that is globally competitive. So that is very clear. Productive and exportable education system. One way you can have an exportable education system is technology, making sure that everybody is on the same page. It's not going to be something that will happen overnight, but the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. And I want to say that since 2015, we started the drive for one teacher, one laptop. I can tell you that our teachers are improved. Definitely, they are very, very much improved. You know, for 2015, I remember the story. I always find it funny to tell the story. When we were doing the training, ICT training at Ibibike, and I came in there, one of the teachers ran out and came to me and said, "Prof, we learned about 7 windows today." Instead of Windows 7, she called it 7 windows. I am sure no Anambra State teacher will call it 7 windows anymore. I am very, very sure. We've gone beyond that. We've become transformational leaders. We've got people who will stand tall, you know, and meet other people and be able to know that they can teach, you know, with ICT. They have become people who are global teachers who can, you know, sit there in the radio knowing that the whole world is seeing them through this live streaming and everything, and yet they are confident. That is the teachers we have, the teachers we have grown. And we are taking it further to see, okay, we've done well with our teachers, they've done well. How are we going to ensure that they don't lose touch of technology? It's by this kind of summit, you know, it's by them making sure that, I tell you, a lot of teachers now have laptops, a lot of them, especially the secondary school teachers. I'm still challenged with the primary school teachers. I hope the ASPEM chairman will be able to drive that, especially the secondary school teachers. I'm sure they have, a lot of them have laptops. The primary school teachers are getting there because a lot of them join in the teaching online. I'm sure a lot of them now have Android phones. We made it a policy that for you to become a head teacher, you should at least be able to be a little bit computer literate. And I keep saying this, those who use technology will replace those who do not. That is a fact. And that is something, that's why we are doing this. It's a kind of refreshing ourselves, you know, so that people will know, they will know that technology has not gone away. It's still there.
Yes. Honorable Commissioner, thank you very much for the good job you've been doing in the Ministry of Basic Education. Of course, my name is Awka. I'm thanking you for this e-learning of your team. Of course, my brother cannot go from I tried to talk to you initially. So it's during the 2020 pandemic, coronavirus. That was the first time I could see Anambra teachers teaching live on television. And the impact is here. It's really helped our children. And that's the aspect I want to comment you for. Then on the other side, I was opportune on Tuesday last week to be in the plenary, covering the plenary of Anambra State House of Assembly. An issue was raised against you. The Honorable Commissioner, lawmakers in Anambra State. So, the House Committee Chairman on Basic Education, Honorable Ejiko Kejubu, said that conversion of PTA teachers to regular teachers did not follow due process under your watch. He raised 2 accusations. One, that 500 was approved to be employed, but you went ahead to employ 670, and their names were published. They were now trying to know children were published did not pass through the processes of PTA teachers. In fact, that they were not even PTA teachers. That you brought them elsewhere. And there were most cases outside the constituencies of those lawmakers are being against it. So now I'm seeing you face to face. How would you react to that? Thank you.
Well, in the first place, this is outside what we have called you here to do. And I'm not going to answer that question. I'll simply tell you that we have lawmakers, we have executive. It should not be any person's concern how the person is paid, because if it doesn't have the approval of the executive governor, they won't be paid. And let me just say for your interest that remember the names were released long before election. What we are doing is to validate by making sure that every person goes through computer literacy test. We had already released the name, but the persons they are saying about are taking tests of computer to show them that we are serious about computer. So any person who doesn't make that computer-based test will not be given an appointment. That's what relates to what we are doing. I hope you are happy with it.
I'm not the honorable commissioner, so I'm not talking about the PTA teachers. But we know that due process was actually followed, and it's verifiable, very, very verifiable. You know, when people, some people didn't make the exam and they were not taken, and that was the goal of contention. We can't start, we are trying to move from analog to digital. We can't be going back because we want to please some people. But I'm sure that has been trashed and everything resolved. Yeah? So I hope this will make you better. I just want to add my voice to the One Student, One Laptop campaign launch. I just want to say, if you may not be aware or you were there when the Ministry of Basic Education under her watch had a celebration to honor education builders in Anambra State. Those who have been, trying to support education privately. Some of them adopted some donated classrooms. They were honored and celebrated and recognized. And during that celebration, public-private partnership became more glaring. That the state, there's nowhere, anywhere the state can do it alone. We need private investors. So this One Student, One Laptop project, we are looking at it will be one of those PPPs, public-private partnerships, not necessarily government. Even as we speak, there are some schools that individuals, philanthropists in their locality have equipped such schools with maybe 50 computers or hundreds. Then what is it compared to the population? So the project we want to launch, the One Student, One Lab project we want to launch, will actually, that's our thinking. We don't know what we do. If the new government comes in and says there's enough money to buy for everybody, of course everybody will be happy. But we are thinking that it will go under PPP. The launch, like he said, is the thought process. How do we do it? Will it be purely PPP or government is not coming in at all, or just private people who could, form, like he said, trust fund or any other platform to take that campaign forward, bringing in individuals in Anambra State or even beyond, or even international organizations to donate or provide laptops for our students. This launch is for students, not for teachers. You know, it's for parents, and we know that there are parents who can afford it. Before this conference, Honorable Commissioner, I'm sorry, I've been wanting to tell you this. We would love to know what is available in our schools, actually, so that will help to know the structure, how it will go. And so we have international donor agencies that can also help to support this. And at the end, some parents are rich enough to provide for their students, some are not rich enough. So that project will see the structure that will come about, see how everybody will have access to laptop for teaching and learning. It could be individual based, it could be school based, but that thought process will direct the initiative. Thank you. Then we were talking about teacher participation. We have in our midst now the chairman of Post-Primary School Service Commission of Anambra State, ably represented by the PRO, Mrs. Ngozi Moore. She's here. She will tell us how they intend to move teachers to participate in the summit. Thank you.
My Honorable Commissioner, good afternoon. The Permanent Secretary, good afternoon. Ebuche Asubel. What we intend to do, that is in regards mobilizing our teachers. So what we normally do is send information to our zonal directors. So when we get this, then we forward them that will be interested in partners.
That means that the PPSSU having heard that, do we have any further clarifications to seek? In absence? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been very well spent. May I have the honor of inviting the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic Education, Barrister Mrs. Mando Obiano, PhD, to wrap up in a brief words of advice.
Gentlemen, Basic Education, Kate Azuko Menoa, Chairman Asubeb, the Managing Director IDK, Chairman PPSSC, ably represented. Gentlemen of the conference, good afternoon. Mine is so simple to thank us for honoring this invitation to the press conference today. I'm sure the Commissioner, the Honorable Commissioner of Basic Education, as well as the Managing Director of IDK, have been able to give us what we need to get this information sent across to our brothers and sisters, even in the remotest part of the state and the country. And with the hope that you are going to do a worthwhile job, which you are known for, I want to thank you in advance. And we look forward to partnering with you when the summit comes in earnest. Thank you, everybody, and good afternoon.
Thank you, Permanent Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, please note that I have to thank the Honorable Commissioner, Professor Kate Awka, and everybody, and the CEO, IDK, and Permanent Secretary, Chairman of the PSSC, every representative right here, gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, I thank you very much.